So, my name is Lisa Loeber. Um, I have been a personal trainer and fitness expert for the last 35 years. Um, 8 years ago, I went through a pretty horrific divorce, and in that process, I had to find a different way to make a living because you don't make a lot of money teaching fitness and running gyms, even though I loved it and it was great healthy wise. And crazy set of circumstances, I ended up in charge of a memory care community in Colorado Springs. And so going from running gyms to running a memory care is kind of like going from the happiest place on earth to what you would think of as the saddest place on earth. Um, I walked in there and the place seemed dark and quiet, and there was very unhealthy looking people around the room. And I started thinking in my head, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And then there was a gentleman that was ended up passing a couple of weeks after I started there, that was half in his chair and half on a couch, and I was asked by the lady I was replacing to help pick her up, and he felt like bones. And in my head I was screaming, oh my god, I can't do this is too scary, it's too sad. And then a few minutes after that, she asked me to play balloon volleyball with the rest of the people. And I'm used to playing balloon volleyball with YMCA people and seniors, but healthy seniors. And I have all these people in a room, and they're in a circle, and they're all kind of going like this and staring off into outer space. And I thought in my head, how am I supposed to do this? And I hit the ball to one person, and his head came up. And then I hit a ball to somebody else, and she kicked it. And next thing I know, these people were like wind-up toys, and they just needed energy to kind of bring them to life. And then I hit it to one man, and he hit it back, and it hit me in the nose. And I started laughing because the balloon hit me in the nose. And then he mumbled something, and when I heard what he said, it was actually hilarious. But I normally move so fast, I wouldn't have heard him. The only reason I actually heard him was because I was getting paid to be there. And at that moment, I realized I was the perfect person there. There's nobody in the planet that has more energy than I have. And that was where my calling was. And I absolutely fell in love with memory care at that moment. I'm a lot different than a lot of memory care coordinators. They're kind of quiet, and I'm much more active, and we had those people up and moving all the time. 2 months after I started working there, my father was diagnosed with dementia. And as it turns out, he's got 4 different types. He's got hydrocephalus, he's got vascular, which is his primary. He's got the one that's brought on from concussions because he was high intensity athlete all his life, and then he's also got a small amount of Alzheimer's. And what's been a blessing is now, as a daughter and being trained in memory care, I'm able to walk through this as a child and stand by my mom and help support her in that. And I have a better understanding for the clients I work with because I'm a child of someone with this disease, and I understand firsthand how difficult it is to watch this person who was your hero at one time and the smartest, strongest, toughest person you've ever known, suddenly not understand how to hold a cup of coffee or what he's supposed to do with a piece of paper when I hand him something. Or he used to read and he has the book upside down because he's trying to fake it. Watching that decline happen, watching it destroy my mom, and having to try to support her and help teach her how to let go, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I'm really blessed to be in the position I'm in now, because the job I have now, I was promoted from the memory care into sales role, so I work with memory care as well as assisted living people. And the great thing about that is I get paid whether they move into my building or not. So people are able to come in and talk to me, and I can relate to them on a deeply personal level and try to help them find a place to go with their residents. And sometimes that's just a matter of helping them connect them with the Alzheimer's Association and some of their groups that they've got. Sometimes it's a matter of finding in-home care, or other times it's helping find them a community like this. Or helping them find a hospice, because they may be at that point that they're passing into the, out of this area, out of this world. I love what I do, and being able to work in this field, you get to realize that that person is still there. a lot of folks, when they look at memory care folks, they're just like, they don't even remember any of this. They don't know. But I remember being in that community, and a resident would have a family member come in and they would visit, and that family member will leave. And you can see the impact on what happened with that resident. That resident is obviously missing them. It's ways that they act out. It's the things that they do. They are missing that family member. They know they were there. So one of the things I always tell the families when they come in and they say they don't even recognize me, or they don't know that I was even in the room, that they do. It's just that they're not able to express it the way that we express it. They're not able to express it the way that they may have been used to it, but they still acknowledge them. So keep coming and visiting them. Keep showing up and giving them the hugs, and letting them know that you care, because that mom and dad is still here. And then I've also seen them have those moments of clarity where all of a sudden they're back for a few minutes, and you never know when that's going to happen and how long it's going to last. It's a horrific disease, and it takes away a lot of what we know about those people. But in the heart, mom and dad are still there. I guess I don't really know how to wrap this up other than to say that I hope that people can get a better understanding of memory care and stop being afraid of it. That's one of the things I see that's the saddest when we go out, is people are afraid of my dad when we go places. Other residents, if they're in the assisted living side, are afraid of my memory care people, and they don't always treat them well. So if we can learn to have more compassion and understanding to help these people through this difficult disease, and then hopefully help find a cure. So help get that awareness out is probably the best way to make that happen. I guess that's all I have to say.